when do you feel the most loved, Jordan? When what's happening around you, or when you're creating something, or when you're with people? When do you feel personally the most loved?
When I'm with my family, when I'm with my kids, when I'm with my family,
Yeah.
friends too. And that's even been more the case over the last couple of years, because my family and friends have been so unbelievably loyal and helpful to me and my family as we've had our troubles, terrible troubles over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
They've been so unbelievably reliable and helpful, amazing. Certainly people have gone out of my way for me in a way that I don't believe I would have done for them.
Really?
Well, look, I saw my father-in-law when and I write about this in Beyond Order. Oh no, I read about it in 12 Rules more, I think, but it doesn't matter. He's a really extroverted guy, disagreeable guy too, masculine guy, extroverted, assertive. Everybody in the little town I grew up in knew who he was. He was a performer, the life of the party, and a good businessman, but a real character. And he did his own thing. But then his wife got prefrontal dementia when she was quite young, 55. And man, he took care of her for 15 years.
Wow.
It was unbelievable.
Wow.
And it was so interesting too, because if we offered to help him, he would accept it right away. And anything that we could do that would, like I suggested one time, for example, that he buy a digital readout sign so that if he went out, he could type in where he was going on the sign and it would just repeat over and over.
Oh, that's cool.
And some recordings in the bathroom to help his wife remember what to do. And he would just implement those, accept it and implement them right away. But this guy who lived his own life, who was a very extroverted social person, not someone who you would have regarded as soft and caring. And I don't mean that in a negative way. It's just that wasn't him. It wasn't Mother Teresa, He cared for her in a way that was absolutely astonishing. And I saw that also in my friends and my family, in the care that they've offered to Tammy and I over the last 2 years. Mind-boggling. Mind-boggling.
Wow.
But I would say the place I like to be the most is in a family situation when there's no elephants under the rug and everyone's playing. If you ever have that, you should consider yourself fortunate.
Wow.
Beyond belief, because it's unlikely and you can lose it at any moment.
Yeah.
I was in the hospital more or less for a year, and then another year with Tammy, and I thought I'd lost all of that. Never get it back. It was very dreadful. And so now when it happens, I've always been grateful for it when it happens. Strive for that. The animal experimentalists have demonstrated that, and the ones who study play, this is Jaak Panksepp in particular, but there's a variety of them who study play, brilliant scientists. Play is a circuit. It's a mammalian circuit. It's a specialized circuit. And it's very important developmentally for that circuit to be given free rein to play. It's how children play out roles in the world that they're eventually going to adopt. They play mother, they play father, they play all these different roles, and that's how they learn to be those things. The role of the father is to put up security so that play can occur. Right. So the security is there. That's the walls. They fortify the walls, man the walls, guard the walls. But within the walls, then that's where play can take place. And play is very easily disrupted. Hunger, thirst, any emotional state any motivational state can supersede it, even though it's very, very important. So you have to have the walled garden in place before play can occur.
Remove the fears, yeah.
To make it safe so that experimentation can take place within. That's paradise, right? It's a walled garden. That's what paradise means, is a walled garden where structure and nature, the walls in the garden, are harmoniously interacting, and where eternal play can occur. That's paradise. And so you get a glimpse of that when everyone's together, often at the table.
Not fighting.
and also not fighting. Right? You know what that's like.
Fighting, but not like
it's when everyone's at each other's throats, but no one's saying anything. Well, we're not going to bring that up. We're not going to discuss that.
Because that's not paradise either. Yeah.
No, that's pretense. And see, that negotiation is the eradication of the need for that pretense. It's like, you got a problem with me, let's sort it out.
Right.
Because we're going to carry it with us. You want to do that? So people wonder why I engage in conflict. I hate conflict. And I find it very stressful. But conflict delayed is conflict multiplied.
Ooh, that's so true. It's worse to have lingering conflict for months, years, decades than the pain of direct conflict that can hopefully resolve and move on.
Yes, absolutely. Well, as the conflict is delayed, it's the reasons multiply. Ooh. And the persons who are involved, because they're avoiding, demean themselves and get weaker and less confident. And so it's a vicious circle. It's better to notice. There's a line in the New Testament. Christ talks about prayer. And so you imagine that as communion with God. So you could imagine that as an attempt to confer with the ideal, or maybe to even occupy that space for a while. Well, Christ says, if you have a problem with your brother, you fix that first. Go pray later. Yeah. Well, that's it. That's wise. And that's a good thing, if you're angry with the people who are close to you, if you're resentful. I read a lot about that in chapter 11. Resentment is so useful. It's so useful. It's so horrible. It's so toxic. It's so destructive, but it's so informative. Right. If you're resentful, you're either being oppressed and not standing up for yourself, or you're whiny and should grow up. And both of those things are really useful to realize. And all you have to do is notice that you're resentful and want to do something about it. Okay, I'm resentful. Okay, am I immature? Are people picking on me, or I am immature? If people are picking on me, do I have something to say or something to do? I should do it. It's a gateway to improvement, resentment, or you can let it fester. You can foster it and let it devour you and take you places that no one with a clear mind would ever want to go. Hell. That's resentment, man. That's the pathway to hell. And if you don't believe in hell, you don't have any imagination. That's my sense of things.